right, we're down here at the LeMay Car Museum in Tacoma, Washington. Today we're going to take you guys inside and show you some of the Volkswagens that are featured this month. They've got a couple cars from Volkswagen America that are really cool. One of them is a 1943 Kdf-Wagen, or basically the first Beetle ever made. All right, we're on the side of the building. We had to put the fisheye lens on just to show you how large this building is. But you can see it goes down into the ground. There's 4 levels. It's very long. It's surprisingly large inside. It looks small from the outside, but it is big on the inside. There's hundreds of cars in there, hundreds of displays. So let's get ready to go inside. All right, we're inside the LeMay Museum with Rene, the collections manager here. Rene is responsible for all the cars, where they're placed, why they're here, and why they're so cool. She's done a fantastic job. I understand that the Volkswagen display this year has been one of the most successful of their history. So we're really excited to be involved in promoting the LeMay Museum and just learning a lot more about it, because it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge asset for the car industry, the car world. This museum is one of the largest in the world, as I understand it. But Rene, can you kind of tell us a little bit about why this place is so cool?
Absolutely. Actually, the LeMay collection, Harold, was started by Harold LeMay. And Harold LeMay had, when he passed away in 2000, actually owned over 3,000 vehicles. So the collection that we have a certain amount of the cars from the LeMay collection are here in the museum. But Harold started this museum in 1998. And it took us almost 10 years to get the building built. So we broke ground in 2011. We opened the museum in June of 2012. And so we're actually, this June will be our 3rd anniversary. So we have a certain amount of cars here that are on display, belong to Harold LeMay. And most of the cars in our collection are from the LeMay collection. However, we have other cars, like we're doing the VW exhibit. All the cars here are on loan to us. The collection owns 2 Volkswagens, but they're not on loan. We've actually used them to publicize the exhibit.
Cool. How many cars can you fit in the museum at any one time?
We have, including motorcycles, a little over 300.
Oh, really? Now, how often do you change out the inventory of cars? I mean,
we rotate the inventory very frequently. The exhibits stay on exhibit for a year to 2, but within those exhibits we'll be swapping cars in and out. So there's always something new to look at. There's always something fresh. Our lobby is swapped out regularly. We have new cars coming in and going out almost weekly.
Great. I understand you have daily rates. People can come in and just pay for the day, and they also have memberships.
That's true.
What does the membership get you when you become a member of LeMay?
We have memberships on several levels, and the membership will get you up. Any member can get in free anytime we're open, and we're open 7 days a week. So you can come in at your leisure, and certain memberships also give you extra privileges, like bringing guests in and other perks.
Gotcha. And all that stuff's on the website, right?
It's all on the website.
Awesome. So other than that, I think we're about ready to start looking at some cars.
Cool.
Right on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, the first car we're going to start with is the 1943 Kdf-Wagen. This is basically the first Bug ever built. This is number 8. But this car was designed by Ferdinand Porsche, and he was asked to design this car by the German government. The German government, the head of it, was hoping that they could provide a car that 2 people could ride in. It could do 62 miles an hour down the freeway. It would get 22 miles per gallon gas. Basically, they just really wanted people to have fun, get out and see the countryside, see their friends, travel, and have an opportunity to see the world and see Europe. But some of the uniqueness here on this one is obviously the tail lights. They're really small. You can see how this is that's an unusual tail light or license plate light right there. It's super cool. A lot of style, design elements to it. Single muffler back here on the back. Of course, you got your split window here and your big air intake here. No trim on it, obviously trying to make it inexpensive and cheap. You also have semaphores, which are basically your turn signals. So overall, the car looks basically the same as we see, but as the day goes on and we're going to show you other cars, we'll show you the little differences between 1943 and the progression of Volkswagens throughout the years. All right, we're at the inside of the Kdf-Wagen. You can see that it looks kind of similar to most Volkswagens, but you can see that we got glove boxes on either side. There's no door. You can see we don't have wing windows here. You can see we've got 3 knobs on the dash, and the speedometer is right in the middle. Just 3 nice big knobs. One lights, windshield wipers, and I don't know what the other one is, but I can find out someday. But I remember as a kid when my mom would go and look at Volkswagen Bug, she would only drive 1959 or earlier because it only had 3 knobs on it. So again, really simple car, really easy to drive, really lightweight. It's not going to break down. There's only 3 knobs. What can go wrong with this thing? So anyway, the whole concept of keeping this car simple and affordable for the people really translates to the inside as well.
Well, let's take a look at this motor. You know, it's really fun to see this really early. Oh, geez, that deck light is heavy. But, you know, as you can see, there's very little differences. I mean, it's clearly a Volkswagen engine.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at it and I can see, you know, the differences in the years. Obviously, this is a 25 horsepower engine. So this is the smallest engine they ever made. What's that, like 1100 cc's or something like that. But you can see that 36 horse and 25 horse all have the same generator stand incorporated into the engine case. You can see they all have basically the same carburetor. The fuel pump's going to look a little bit different between 25 horsepower, 36 horsepower, and then the later 40 horsepower motors. But basically, again, Volkswagen, they didn't change much over the years. That's why they were able to keep the costs low, keep the repairs easy, spare parts available, spare parts are cheap, and again, it really helped the German society get out and travel and see Europe and, you know, have a good time. Okay, we moved over to the 1954 panel van or transporter. I wanted to show this one because I've never seen a bus this old and this good a shape. Again, this is another one of the Volkswagen of America vans, but just like Volkswagen wanted to be able to provide really low cost, inexpensive vehicles for people just to get around the countryside, they also wanted to be able to provide a way for businesses to provide goods and services at a low cost as well. So again, Volkswagen moved on to the bus. They also do a double cab, which is kind of like a truck, and a single cab, which is another truck. But let's just go through this one real quick and show you what an early bus looks like on the inside. All right, we're on the inside of the van now. Now, I want to show this because this is really, really cool. The dash is basically missing on here. So when they first started manufacturing or designing the buses, it is truly a commercial vehicle. You don't need a dash, you just need something to hold on to. You got a footrest down here, you got no headliner in the roof. It's separate. You can't get into the back through the front like so many, like my bus, I've got a walk through. This one is a commercial vehicle. You don't want goods coming up and hitting you from the back. Bench seat, all just really basic. This one only has 2 knobs on the dash. So again, really easy to manufacture, really easy to fix, easy to repair, easy to run, and cheap to own. All right, so we're at the back of the 1954 bus. I wanted to show this off because this is one of my favorite views of a Volkswagen bus, especially the early ones. You can see small back window, small back entry. You got the big barn door engine compartment here. You've got the tiny little cool taillights. They're so awesome. Again, you got the single muffler outlet because it is a 25 horse. But also something else that's pretty unusual is you got the third taillight. This is 1954 and Volkswagen's putting this on in decades before anybody else thought to do that on any modern cars. So, but anyway, on the inside you can see we've got basically the same engine, but you also have to put gas in the back here. You know, why cut something in the side when you can just do a multi-use function there? But you can see same engine again, the 25 horsepower, tiny little carburetor. But look at that, just so clean, so open, so easy to get to. You could fix that thing on the side of the road, no problem. All right, so we're at the inside of the transporter here. You can see no windows, everything's solid, closed up in there. This car was used just to haul and transport goods and services. This car in particular, the Telefunken car, you can see here, was used for some sort of, Telefunken is the radio manufacturer for Porsche and Volkswagen back in the day. So anyway, we're going to move on to another bus, 66 Deluxe here, and show you the differences between the two. All right, we moved over to the 1966 21 window Deluxe microbus. This one's totally different than that transporter we were just looking at, in the fact that this bus has every option available in 1966 or on any bus. You can see you've got trim, You've got extra windows, you've got sunroof, you've got pop-out windows, you've got beauty rings, you got white walls, you got everything you needed in your minivan with this 21 window. All right, so we're on the side of the Deluxe. You can see here now the extra windows on the top, the sunroof, again the extra trim on the bottom, the jack hole covers right here. We got mud flaps, we've got everything like jail bars in the windows to keep luggage from breaking the windows. It's stored back here. On the inside, you can see we've got extra seats right here. So this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passenger van in 1966. First minivan, pretty stylish. I think I'll take one of these over anything that we got available to us now. All right, we're here at probably one of the most rare Volkswagen Bugs I've ever seen, and from what I hear, anybody almost has seen. This car is a kind of a hybrid in the fact that between October of 1952 and March of 1953, Volkswagen was changing over from the split rear window to the oval window. So they're kind of designing this thing, manufacturing on the fly, taking body parts left over from the previous body run, which was the split window, and putting in new oval window options. One of them being that now we've got wing windows here. We've got chrome trim. We've got the dashboard is different on this one in the sense it doesn't have those open dash holes on it. This one also has different bumpers on it, a little bit safer that way. Different turn signals in the back. This one has the heart or glass turn signals on the inside. This one also has a factory accessory wind-up clock, which is also very unusual. All right, I wanted to take you to the back of this car and just show you how sexy, how nice it is. You can see Volkswagen starting to put the chrome around the windows here. You got the glass turn signals, which are really nice. You got your three-fold sunroof on the top that's color matched to the body. You can see how things are starting to kind of smooth in a little bit. This nice big W deck lid right there. And then we've got the motor inside. And again, that's a nice big heavy deck lid on there. Again, now we're back to what looks to be like the standard Volkswagen Motor. Now this one looks slightly different. You can see that the carburetor is starting to look a little bit bigger here, and also the engine case or the generator stands getting a little bit more beefy there. But again, everything else is the same. Your oil bath, air cleaner, all that stuff is going to stay consistent throughout. But there you go. We're starting to see cars getting a little bit more modern, but again, keeping the same look and feel. Okay, now we're at the 1956 Volkswagen Bug, which you can see this one's an oval window, not a split window. Again, we were at 53 model year before, now we're at 56. A little bit different here. You can see the taillight doesn't have the little glass hearts on the top of them. Much bigger back window to give you better visibility. On this 56 oval window Bug, what makes it so unique and so awesome, and I really, really appreciate, as you know, is original patina. This interior is original. It has not been restored. The car's been painted on the outside, but the interior is the same. It's the same seat covers. That bamboo parcel tray in there was a factory thing that you could get. It's got the original carpets. It's a little dinged up right there, but that's so cool because you can see that it's been used. You can see somebody's arm has been hanging out on that armrest forever. You can see the air conditioner, which we call a bug catcher. You can see it's got all kinds of nice little accents. It's got the original bud tray in there. I just really like anything unrestored original, and this car is super cool. All of them are really super cool. All right, we're at probably one of the most special cars of the collection because it's Rene's personal Volkswagen. I understand you got this when you were how old?
I was 17 when I purchased this car.
Can you tell us how awesome this car is?
Oh, this car is so awesome. I drove this car all through high school, through college, drove it up here when I moved up to Washington. I drove it for about 10 years after that, and then we decided to make it our little collector car and not drive it every day. And I've kept it ever since then, just kept it the way it was. It's totally original. I've repainted the outside once. I think I've rebuilt the engine once, just pretty much kept it the way it was when I got it. I purchased it from the daughter of the original owner, who in Van Nuys, California, actually, when I was living in California. So It's still 6 volts.
It's a 65, right?
1965, right. It was purchased, I got the birth certificate on the car. It was purchased in Wiesbaden. I mean, actually it was delivered to Wiesbaden. Must have been driven around Europe, but it has US specifications on it. It also has a factory locking steering column. You see
Oh, wow, that is
I've never seen one of those
unusual.
on another Bug. I know they're probably around, but that's unusual for a Volkswagen. And I've just, it's just my baby. I've had it all these years.
Family trips,
Oh,
vacations.
yeah. And actually, the idea was I was going to pass it down to my daughter, but I just couldn't do it. So I bought her a Volvo instead.
There you go, exactly. All right, we're at the 1965 Double Cab Volkswagen Transporter. This is the same year as my bus, except for, as you can see, this is a double cab. It's you got your front driving area here. You got seating in the back for other passengers, and then you've got the bed like a truck in the back. But this bus is also, transporter, has also been lowered with some special suspension updates and things like that. But besides that update, this thing has safari windows in the front, in the back. This car was purchased with the commercial style luggage rack and the canvas back. This thing has every factory option for a double cab that I've ever seen. It's been restored beautifully. Understand it was a barn find, a rust-free barn find that didn't really take a lot of rust repair or any kind of major work there. Mostly just had to be painted. Obviously, it looks like it's got new seals on it, but this thing's beautiful. If my bus was to be restored, I would hope it would come out in some sort of shape like this. All right, we're at the 1965 Type 3. We haven't talked about the types or the models there too much yet, but the Type 1 is the Volkswagen Bug. Type 2 is the bus. This is a Type 3. Karmann Ghias are Type 34s, and they all have different delineations. But this car is not necessarily so much of a Bug or a bus or anything. It's kind of unusual in the fact that it's more of like a sedan. Volkswagen wanted to kind of have a little bit more of a substantial car. They made these in 3 different variants, one being the notchback, the other one being the fastback or the slope back, and then you had the Type 3 squareback, which that's my favorite. But this car, very unusual in the fact that Type 3 notchbacks were not imported into the United States. The fastbacks and the squarebacks you could get here through the dealership, but the notchbacks you could not. So what you'll see here is some European accents, which is side marker lights, which are required by European law back in 1965. Okay, so we're at the inside of the Type 3. I just want to take a couple minutes to show you what the differences are, because you saw the Beetle dashes and all of that stuff, but you can see now we've got more of a car dash here. You got 3 humps. You've got your fuel gauge, you got your speedometer, and you got your clock. It looks a little bit more like a Porsche there. Now, also, this person has put on an aftermarket or more of a racer steering wheel, and also have done the parcel tray and the original Cocoa mats, which I haven't seen since 1970. But other than that, you can see it's starting to look a little bit more like a real car inside. And again, the motor's still in the back. All right, so now we're at the back of the Type 3 notchback. You can see we've actually got a trunk area back here. Which you put luggage, whatever you want back there. But this is underneath is where the motor is, underneath this hatchback. Now, squarebacks also and fastbacks do the same thing, where they got this pancake engine. It's a dual carburetor, but it's basically the same engine, except for the fan is placed in a different place. This fan is in the back here, and you've got your dual carburetors. You also check the oil back from this oil cap right here. And this car is also a 6-volt. But it looks like it's been converted to 12. I can tell by the coil here. But other than that, love this motor. All of the squarebacks I had just ran so well, and just really couldn't appreciate the convenience more. All right, we are done today. We are about ready to go home. We've shot a lot of really great cars today. There's so many more that we could have documented as well. We didn't get any Karmann Ghias. There's a 62 Karmann Ghia here. There's a 356. There's a Speedster. There's a race car that's really cool that's never been licensed. Just a lot of really great stuff, and I wish we had more time to hang out and do more. But I'm going to get out of here, but you got to see this building. That's my point. We didn't get to shoot all of it because there's too much. Look at this building. Wood, all these cool cars. You can see American cars, you can see motorcycles, sports cars, vintage cars, Model A's, Model T's. You know, look here, we've got Camaros. We've got all kinds of stuff now that we can hang out and check out. So I would suggest getting down to the museum and checking out all this stuff. But that's it for today. We're pretty much done. Time to go get some lunch.